Scurry Movie 4 is a parody horror movie sequel. So, in this movie, it starts off basically with Cindy basically looking for a job, and she gets this job at this creepy house, and she is kind of down because her husband from Scary Movie 3 died in this horrific boxing accident, and she is now taking care of this old lady. And basically, she meets this guy who lives next door, and boom, bada bing, aliens attack. Well, she ends up getting a clue from the evil little boy that lives in that creepy house that she takes care of the old lady in, and basically she goes out to find a way to stop these aliens that are basically aliens from War of the Worlds. And yeah, there's a plot twist at the end with Saw, because it starts with Saw. I don't know. These movies are always just really hard to explain just because the plot is just no nonsense. But yeah, so my review to Scary Movie 4, and unfortunately, this is probably the least funniest of all of them so far. I actually don't own 5, so won't be doing a review on 5 until I own it. So this is the final Scary Movie for me. And even though it was still funny, there was still some pretty funny spots. It just wasn't as good as the others. One thing I did notice is they kind of recycled a lot of jokes from like Scary Movie 3. Like example, like the boy in Scary Movie 3 was always getting beat up, and they basically copy and pasted that with the little girl in Scary Movie 4. There was a couple other ones, but I just can't think of it right now. Acting was still good. I mean, they somehow got Dr. Phil in this movie, which is crazy because he was basically making fun of himself. Yeah, all in all, it was pretty good. So the movies that they referenced, and this is basically the most important part for me with these movies, is obviously it was Saw. It starts with Saw, and then War of the Worlds, The Village, M. Night Shyamalan's The Village, and The Grudge. Those were the 4 big ones. There was some references here or there, but yeah, basically those were just the main ones. And the big plot twist is in the end that Saw, Jigsaw, Billy the doll, or whatever his name, Billy the puppet, is basically the bad guy, and he's the one who sent the aliens, I don't know, the tripods. Just these movies, I'm exhausted from them, but I plan on watching a whole bunch of other hilarious, funny, quote unquote funny scary movies parodies, so stay tuned. I just feel like 1, 2, and 3 are literally like the staple for these, and not too many even remotely come close. Like I said, 4 was still funny. There was some pretty good parts, but it was like, if in the other ones every 5 jokes, like 4 or 3 of them hit, it's like every 5 jokes maybe 1 hit, and sometimes maybe none. There was some good parts though, but yeah. So my recommendation to Scary Movie 4, and honestly, I would kind of recommend this one. They definitely go downhill, but it was still funny. I don't know if I would recommend it, but I still laughed. It's definitely funnier than my next review on this movie. Whatever I'm watching right now is just not funny. So yeah, Scary Movie 4 was still pretty good.